Good morning. This is Christine Williams. This is Christine Williams with the Soulful Guild, and you're joining me for a cup of glow this morning. Thank you. I'm trying to get, as always, resetting my screen for a new day. Oh, good morning. Get your cup of refreshment. It was a hot night, wasn't it? Definitely summer is here. We're in the thick of it. And as I punch in my calendar, my date on this page, ever present, it's in my mind that eclipse is tomorrow, full moon. If you had a hard time sleeping because the moon was moving across your window ever so slowly, reminding us of her wisdom, keeping us up at night, we know it's here. We know it's here. The days have been long, they've been gnarly, they've been intense. I'm just speaking for me, for those that I've been in contact with. If you've been really tired, just struggling to get through the day, everything in your face, people everywhere on the road, off the road, in the store, phone calls, craziness, 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 you're not alone. Sit down and enjoy the cup before you go out. Thank you for joining me. Wow, eclipse season is here. It is here. Tomorrow is our third eclipse. Um, a, a lot of people are calling it the blood moon. It will be the longest eclipse we've had. We won't get to visually see it. We will feel the effects of it. We are feeling the effects of it. It's probably going to be, as I remember now, you'll have to go online and do a little research, but I'm thinking that it's just over 2 hours in duration, which is quite phenomenal. If you've ever watched a full or an eclipse in completion, last year we had that phenomenal solar eclipse in June. This one is a lunar eclipse, and we won't be able to see it here. It will be on the other side. However, we will feel the effects of it. We will feel the effects of it probably, actually, we are feeling the effects of it, but it will take place, I do believe, between 2 and 4, in the afternoon. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. That means you'll go and look, and I love that. Okay. Whew. I needed the message of yesterday just to do one thing to get back on track. I made my mess. I can clean it up, and that message helped me. I was able to do a couple of things, but especially one that got me moving again. So some of you left messages. Thank you very much. That it encouraged you, and that you were being accountable. And thank you for commenting. That just makes me so happy. So we're all working together on moving through our stuff every day, and know that you're supported, and I'm cheering you on, and I feel that strength too, and I need it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. At the beginning of the week, I mentioned that this is Wisdom Week, and I say that because all that's flowing right now, we're in an amazingly intuitive time, and with all of the eclipses and the lunar experiences, we are in, lunar is representative of the divine feminine, the mother. And it is the mother that's so intuitively connected. And it's often through the mother that we get that great insight, that great wisdom. So we're being called very much to go inside, connecting with our divine feminine, connecting with our deepest wisdom. And so I've really enjoyed using Colette Baron Reed's wisdom deck throughout the week, just when I've needed some good insight. I love her work. She gives, and it's meant to be read. It's meant to be, some of the decks are meant to be used intuitively. I mean, they all have meaning, they all have significance, but intuition is more like after the symbols are given and after the pictures are given, it's meant to be more intuitively shared. But there's some wisdoms shared here as an ally or as a challenger. So we have our friends and we have our challengers. And each one of them actually, and in truth, becomes a friend. Each challenge becomes a friend if we get to know it and ask why it's here. So as we reach the full moon for tomorrow, the eclipse time, I thought I would pull another wisdom because we're feeling that really, if you even dare go out, if you have to go out, use your wisdom. How you speak to others, how you respond. You might be the bright spot in somebody's day. And how nice it is when someone is the bright spot in your day, right? So don't forget to be that wise one when you go out and meet up with the world. So the card that I pulled today for our wisdom, and I really thought, wow, this is super wise, and it was number 9. The card number was number 9. 9 is the end of the single digit in numerology, which is suggesting the end of a phase, and our lunar eclipse, the end of the month, the full moon, it's all suggesting that very thing. We're at the end of a phase. And when we're at the end of a phase, if you've experienced childbirth, whoo, when you know that moment is coming, you get very clear about what is ahead of you. You get very clear. You get really quiet, and then all of a sudden, this energy, this burst of energy, almost so much that you don't even know what to do with it. And it's just preparing the body to give birth. Well, that's the same thing that's happening right now. We're ending the end of the month, where the full moon is on. It's lighting things up. We're going inward. We have this lunar eclipse that we're being faced with. And the card that we received today is the last day. It's the end before we have the full lunar eclipse, being represented by the number 9. Let's see what the card has to say for us today. We better take a little drink before we do that. By the way, I'm using my owl cup today. I had a dear friend, so maybe I can give you a better vision. I used to go to a friend's house, and she's super wonderful and artistic and fun, and she has these fantastic owl mugs, and I think she probably gives one to everyone that comes and sits and has a cup of tea with her, which I think is the most lovely thing. Anyway, it just is very much about being wise. So I decided to use my owl mug today. To Candy, thank you for reminding me to be wise while I wait, while I have my cup of joy. Okay, card number 9 in the wisdom of the hidden realms speaks of the ringmaster of scrutiny. Okay, ooh, doesn't that sound like the ringmaster of scrutiny? That is that feels like what we're in is scrutiny. The key words that are posted on this card are discernment, clear vision, and details. Okay, when you're wrapping things up, you want to have clear vision, you want to pay attention to those details, and you very much want to be able to discern what's what's going on, what's happening. Let's read what it says. The card showed up as an ally, as a friend. So let's read what it says. The ringmaster of scrutiny is all about the details. Look closer and pay attention to the smallest element of what's being presented to you on your path. I love this. I have a story to tell you after that. Remember, the smallest detail, okay? Um, it is in these details, not the broad strokes, that you'll find the breaking beauty, the breathtaking beauty and perfection in what you observe. This ally or friend is on your side to point to the deeper meaning of what is unfolding in your life. I know I've had a lot of people saying, "What's going on?" So, that's what I throw back at you, that question. What is going on? What is going on? What is that hidden meaning that is unfolding to you? Staying in the present in this perfect moment, observing the minute things, leads you to manifesting your highest good and greatest desires. Grand gestures are for other times. It is the smallest acts that really count right now. Wow, isn't that fabulous? Isn't it? And it kind of fits with yesterday's message of just choose one thing, just one thing. And it doesn't have to be grandiose. Now is not the time for the grand gestures, it's for the flutter of a wing that can create movement on the other side of the world. You know, they've said, it's been said that the flutter of a wing can create a vibration that when it hits on the other side of the world can create a tidal wave. Okay, I probably got that halfway wrong, but what I'm saying is that your little movement, your smallest detail, begins the motion in which creates the snowball effect, which creates then whatever needs to be rolling and going with the tide that will create the larger manifestation later. But right now, we're being asked to pay attention, just to be still, to go inside, to find the smallest of details. I'm just feeling really moved to read the challenger side of that card. This might be a good point. This might be your friend. This might be what you're recognizing, that you're noticing the small things, you're noticing every little thing. And it's helping you, it's assisting you. But as a challenger, as an opposition, an opposing force, let's read what this card means. Maybe this could be your situation. When the ringmaster of scrutiny appears as your challenger, he wants you to observe your situation with discernment and clarity. It is time to see the flaws in the foundations you and others have built underneath you. It also seems that you're getting caught up in the details of your dream when really it's time to lead them to the divine. Wow, I think I was really supposed to read this. This is really good. Perhaps you're worrying about the past and the future too much, forgetting that the dream is created in the now time. Often, the ringmaster of scrutiny also brings a warning to read the fine print. Watch for the hidden agendas where you're involved with others. Wow, that is really fantastic. So, oh, I didn't finish. It's on the back too. Don't worry. Whatever you're currently challenging, whatever your current challenge, things can be resolved as soon as you cultivate detachment and trust that the details will be taken care of once you turn them over to the divine. Who isn't that a struggle? Turning things over, like just letting go. We've heard let go and let God. Turn it over to the divine. Once you do, things will get moving. The universe has an uncanny way of self correcting when you get out of your own way. Maybe it was supposed to be upside down all along. If you've got this going on, good for you. I really needed that upside down side. So details, paying attention to the smallest of details. If you're dealing with a situation where there's contracts involved, or read between the lines, read every line, read the small print, read the footnotes, read what isn't being written. Listen, get very clear. That means we have to be present in our mind. That means we have to be quiet. You know, it's amazing and it's very interesting that when things get that, that last moment, that one that you get right before birth, and we want to talk and we want to talk and we just, our mind is just going like this and everything's just craziness. That's when you need to breathe. Be still. It's in that moment of stillness. Can you hear it? Like it almost comes in and settles right into your inner ear and settles down here into your throat chakra, where you can then speak your truth. Take that moment to just be still. Discern what you're hearing. Close your eyes and view with your third eye, with your intuitive eye. Listen, find clarity, and then move forward. I want to share with you, as I was reading about paying attention to the smallest of moments, this morning I went out. Oh, beautiful. The red sky in the morning. Sailors take warning. I always, we hear these little things, but oh, they were beautiful. The clouds were beautiful right in the east where the sun would be coming up. And the wind was blowing, of course, as if you sit wherever there's a canyon, you get that breeze that comes down. It kind of like brings and rushes in the sun. But as I sat there and was just enjoying my cup of joe, the hummingbirds started to come. And we've been noticing on the back porch the last little bit that there hasn't been as many hummingbirds, and it's kind of the joy of a porch sitter, to watch the hummingbirds and the birds. And as we've been watching for them to come, they've been a little bit slow, maybe only a couple here and there. And oh my goodness, they, whether they're having a party, a full moon party, or a sunrise succulent cup of glow, that they're all getting together and getting their morning sugar fix at the little hummingbird feeders. It was wonderful. There, I probably counted, maybe 8 at least, coming and going. One just came right up in front of me and visited me and said, basically, hello, I'm watching you too. It's funny, we watched them, but I've never considered that they have their eye on me. you know that they're watching me too. Well, one had the courage to come up and say hello. Anyway, what I was saying, what I was talking about was paying attention to the smallest of details. So as I was sitting there and one by one they were showing up, I started to name them and was trying to remember their details of their little fast moving bodies enough to remember the name that I had given whoever had flown up. And so I had some wonderful, wonderful names, but it's because I couldn't attach the name until I paid attention to the details on their body, the way they flapped their little tails, the way some of the coloring on their heads. The females seemed to come closer. The males stayed further back. I thought that was really interesting. Um, and some were willing to come up very close and chat, say hello. And most were just cautious and did their thing. And, you know, I learned so much just from sitting there this morning watching them. Now, hummingbird watching is always a fun thing for me. Bird watching is a fun thing for me. It's become a really important part of my life is watching the the elementals of this earth, the plants, the animals, the birds, but especially hummingbirds. They always seem to appear in my moments where I am trying to be intuitive, where I am trying to go inward and quiet, and a hummingbird always seems to flutter in very quickly. As those thoughts that are intuitive come, they come like a flash, and you almost hear this intense high pitch, just like the wings of the hummingbird as it flies by. It's very high and it's very fast, and it comes in and it goes out. And if you're not paying attention, you miss it. So that was my experience of this morning, this very morning, of paying attention to the details. Also, the sky, the color of the sky, which said to me, we might have some clouds moving in. We might have, you know, as we say, red sky in the morning means sailors take warning. I I don't know how factual that is, but it's something I've always followed, and generally, clouds follow that during the day. There might be a little storm, which would be very wonderful on this hot day. I do hope, however, that we get to have the clear skies for the full moon tomorrow, and we're even enjoying it today. Also, another small detail you might want to pay attention to if you're a planet watcher. Mercury went into retrograde yesterday, which means, got an itch, which means for us that communications might be a little bit garbled. Anything that is operated with a computer, which is everything, might be a little bit slow, might stop for a minute. Phone conversations might get interrupted, or calls might get dropped, or words might even just be misinterpreted. Don't be discouraged by that. Just understand, and with a discerning mind, oh, let's revisit that in a minute. So, a good friend yesterday, as we were talking about Mercury going into retrograde, he just said before he he walks by. When I say walk around the corral a couple times before you walk in, what does that mean? He he said put in front of everything that you question. Revisit a situation, rethink a situation, review a situation, rewrite the things that you're going that email that you're going to send off in fury. Can you see how if we take that moment to rethink maybe what we do, maybe communications won't get garbled on a real active level. We often can't control what's going on out here with the satellites and you know, those waves that interfere with what's going on, but we can rethink, revisit, review, reword the things that we do on a daily basis. So, the ringmaster of scrutiny has come to remind us to have discernment, clear vision, and pay attention to the details today. Even if it's just acknowledging and recognizing the beautiful full moon as it almost as full is appearing in the sky, and find the clarity. That's it, it lights up. It lights up the sky. It puts light on the situation. What do you need to rethink, to revisit, to review, to rewrite, and then release? That's what full moon is about. That's what's happening tomorrow. So let's think about all those things as we prepare for that, and maybe make a list that you can have your own little candle ceremony, fire ceremony, whatever it is that you do, where you focus and release those things that don't serve you anymore, and review the things that you want to have in your life and invite them in. It's a beautiful time. We're witnessing history. Every day is history. It's in this moment that you create your future, in the moment. So be here now and take a moment, get your day in order, pat yourself on the back. You made it through yesterday. We're here today. One thing, just one thing. What is your thing going to be today? Cup of glow to you.